There's a new report out from the Environmental Law and Policy Group, Opportunity Green. They are a new one on me, but I'm sure they're there. They're calling on the Irish government to take immediate action on aviation emissions. And they say that the Irish aviation sector is currently getting a free pass on climate change and must be made to pay its fair share for pollution. And they say, and this is where we come in, when you book your ticket to go to Malaga or Lanzarote or New York, that you should pay an extra tax. Hello, Eoghan Corry of Travel Extra. Eoghan, good morning to you.
Good morning. Not a lot new in that piece today. There's been calls down the years of aviation, tax them, shake them down.
Yeah, to try and...
we've been already paying environmental taxes on aviation. Their average customer pays €4.50 on their ticket towards environmental taxes.
I thought that. Because if you break down your taxes and charges and you buy your ticket, it is already in there. So what do they want? More?
Want more. I think that it's sort of it's not a government body. It's Aoife O'Leary set it up a little while ago. She's a very good campaigner on the green issues. It makes an awful lot of sense of what she says, but her particular mark on this one is on aviation, and I think aviation is highly visible. It's 2% of all emissions. You would think it was 82% sometimes, PJ, with the coverage that it engenders, because when you go to illustrate in the environmental debate, cement would be 14%, but a cement plant isn't as effective in imagery as an airline is. The reality is that airlines consumers of carbon fuel, and they would remove their business elsewhere. If there was an alternative, there will be an alternative. Hydrogen will be an aviation fuel, but it won't become this decade or maybe next decade. But as soon as that...
they're constantly working on that. That will be the exciting fuel of the future, because it's...
Absolutely. There won't be any emissions out of aviation when our children are talking about this.
Yeah. And come back to the figure you gave, and I'm conscious, because I always look at the taxes and charges, what I'm being... There is that original charge of $4.50 or something per flight. But you're saying the aviation is only 2% of emissions anyway.
That's it. Overall emissions, 2%. As I say, cement would be 14%. In terms of the way the debate stacks up, it tends to be the one people jump on because it's seen as something that doesn't really affect one country. It's a big international one that's highly visible.
Right. So this is just a recommendation or a suggestion from this Law and Policy Group. This is not... Do you think it's likely to become government policy?
No, not at all. I mean, the environmental system at the moment is the ETS, the Environmental Trading Scheme, and about 350 million goes to the Irish government, which they spent renewing the bus fleet, the school bus fleet. Michael O'Leary quite vociferous on this. Diesel fuel. So it's supposed to be spent on environment, but like everything that goes into the government coffers, they find some way of justifying, and they say, oh yeah, well, more people would be driving if we didn't have school buses.
So you're telling me, there's money paid as an environmental tax was used to buy diesel powered buses.
Yeah, pretty much. And that's not unusual. Like right across Europe, Ryanair would pay because they operate in so many countries, they pay over €1 billion in environmental tax under it's called the Environmental Trading Scheme. It's quite complicated. You monitor emissions, and then the different governments divvy it up among themselves. But it's really, it's from a politician's point of view, it's taking money off airlines, and they love that. And over $1 billion is paid out by Ryanair on this every year.
Yeah, all right. No, so there will be no new tax in the foreseeable future on your flight to Palma, thankfully. Thank you, Eoghan Corry. of travelextra.ie. That's a great website, actually. If you ever wanted to find out what's going on in the travel and tourism industry, travelextra.ie. And actually, it's free. I thought it wasn't. I thought you had to pay for it. I went looking for it. It's free. It's a fantastic website. Thank you, Owen. 0818 96 96 96. There's some figures, though, you might not have known. That aviation, all people to be complaining about, you're flying here and you're flying there and you're flying the 2% of emissions. And we already pay a tax every time we buy an airline ticket. You pay about 4 or 5 quid in tax. Every time you buy an airline ticket, you're paying an environmental tax anyway to offset your carbon emissions.